leading Brexit supporter and Conservative MP for North East Somerset, said the UK needed to be using its £40 billion payment to the EU as a bargaining chip. Jacob Rees-Mogg also turned the European Union's key phrase of "nothing is agreed until everything is agreed" on itself to back up his argument. Speaking on BBC's Andrew Marr show, he said, "I very much support the Prime Minister in her approach to remaining within the negotiations. I think it is important to obey the formalities and the courtesies. But I think we should be clear and stronger. Basically, the deal is very simple." BBC Brexit News. Jacob Rees-Mogg delivered a brilliant dig to the EU on the Andrew Marr show. "We are paying a very large amount of money, £40 billion, and in return, we want a trade deal. Everything else is essentially incidental to that. The £40 billion is of great importance to the EU because after March next year it still has 21 months of the multi-annual financial framework, and it expects that to be funded by the UK. They would have to cancel projects or get more money out of the Germans if it doesn't get our money." When the host pointed out the UK had already agreed to hand over cash to the European Union, the Brexiteer turned Brussels' key phrase on itself. He said, "No, we haven't, because nothing is agreed until everything is agreed. We are paying a very large amount of money, £40 billion, and in return we want a trade deal." Jacob Rees-Mogg: "Therefore we should reiterate that and say quite clearly, if we don't get the trade deal we want, you don't get the money. That is a very strong negotiating position." Mr. Rees-Mogg added, "I think it is worth reminding the EU that nothing is agreed until everything is agreed, which is clearly set out in the December text. The issues you mentioned, Galileo and so on, the European Union thinks it is in the position of negotiating strength. Without our money, it faces a real crisis next March when it is facing problems from other EU countries too. If I were the EU, I might be a little bit more worried about what is going on in Italy than whether the UK can remain a full member of Galileo. That seems to me to be more important to the structure and to the fortunes of the EU." A financial settlement was agreed in December, and Prime Minister Theresa May revealed the figure is between £35 minus £39 billion. This week, Junior Brexit Minister Suella Braverman claimed MPs could be asked to vote on Britain paying up to £39 billion before the future agreement is finalised. But the junior Brexit minister stressed there is a duty of good faith agreed between Britain and Brussels in Brexit negotiations. She said, "If there was going to be a change in circumstances whereby those payments were to stop, that would require renegotiating and looking at what's been agreed when it comes to the financial agreement with the EU." Ms. Braverman added, "The duty of good faith should not be ignored in this context. It's more than just words.